This is Colin Dijs, and in this video you'll see a live masterclass recording. For the entire month of December, every day I will give you a specific part of the masterclasses. I will prepare a playlist to the side, so no matter when you're watching this, you can click on the playlist, go to the next video, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, until the masterclass is completed, and then there will be a next one available. If you want to attend these masterclasses live with me, ask your questions all about native ads, check the link in the description below for very affordable group coaching. I hope you enjoy, and if you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments below. The reason is you can be obese and still not experience drastic issues that make you change your behavior. Where aesthetics, it's already in your mind that you are not good enough. You have decided this. Nobody else decided this for you. You have decided you want better eyebrows, you want better nails, hair, whatever it is. One of the crazy big industries right now for males is hair transplants, right? People make a lot of money in the business of hair transplants for males, which is great, but it's all about aesthetics, right? It has no added benefit, I assume, having more hair on your head, right? More hair on your head. Yet they pay thousands of dollars to get their hair replaced. Who here did a hair transplant? Anybody? I see a lot of bald heads, so nope. Maybe one
The
day,
first
guys.
product I tried to sell was, the first product I tried to sell was actually a hair loss product for native
Yeah,
ads.
yeah.
But I
I
didn't.
think it. The pain point is there. One thing I had huge success with in my e-commerce days on Facebook was like sole pads in shoes to make men taller. This was like 6 years ago, right? But that sold like crazy because there's small people, they're so insecure. And I do understand it because I'm 6'1", so I'm not that small. But I have somebody here in the office, I will not say his name, who is like 5'11" or 5'8". And every time we have an argument, I bring up his height, right? Because he's a small midget and I'm big. So I can understand. Also, a lot of women, they say, I don't want a guy that's shorter than me, right? Which makes them feel bad. So they care about their height, which is really something you can't do anything about.
Or shorter than me in heels, that's another thing, which makes it harder for the others.
Yeah, I think the average height of a male is like 5'9",
Yeah.
5'8". Who here is above 6'1"? Do we have any giants? No? Okay. I met a guy the other day who's 6'7". It's crazy. Anyway, I'm happy we came to the agreement that the aesthetics have more pressure, right? Okay, now switch the product. Alvin, thanks Roman, that was great. Alvin, you've been
That's right.
doing great.
Sorry, Colin, can I just ask a quick question before we
Sure.
move on? You said Ukraine, Russia for aesthetics is like a really good targeting. Is there any point in targeting those countries? Because obviously we don't speak the language. How can we sell products to them?
But I speak the language. No,
No,
the thing is...
so do I, but like I'm from Ukraine originally, but if I'm gonna sell to like, I don't know, Germany or France, like how do I?
We always just use the translation service. So for us, the geo approach, so from my point of view, it's like so, yeah. Anytime we would set up a campaign, I like to do big campaigns, right? So I know even in Ukraine, I would run a test, which would run me about $2,000, right? It's like a proper test. If I run a campaign for $2,000, I'm not going to skip out on a $30 translation, right? Because I know, especially in Ukraine, that's why I have a company in Ukraine. That's why I was learning Russian, right? Well, it's in Donetsk, right? So not really fake Ukraine, but they all speak Russian, not Ukrainian.
Yeah, that's where my dad's from. Yeah, it's totally Russian speaking.
So that's why I was learning Russian to basically level better with them. But I also noticed that all the documentation that we make has to be in Russian and in English, right? Just because the gap, if you target them in English, 95% of people will just not be able to understand. I did a coaching call yesterday with somebody from Brazil where there was a translator, which was an absolute nightmare. But with a translator on board, we were able to figure everything out. And those are the barriers. So definitely when it comes down to the countries always in the target demographic language. In the Netherlands, we have the highest rating of English in the world, right? I think it's something like 96.8% of people who speak good English, yet they prefer to read in Dutch. It's just how the audience always behaves. Especially things like Flemish, which is like Belgium Dutch. If you would write that to a Dutch person, even where Murat live in the Netherlands, they speak with like a really strange accent. If you speak that in the Amsterdam area where I'm at, people look at them strange, like you're a foreigner. You have such a weird accent, but it's only 1 hour drive from where we are at in this country. So yeah, translation, that's important. Anything else for you, Roman?
That's it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, perfect. Alvin, next product.
Sir.
What are we going to do? Something edgy.
Oh, next product. Oh, well, we can do edgy, then let's do male enhancement, I guess.
Okay, perfect. That's what I was looking for. Because this is like, it's perfect going into like these different topics, right? All right, when we would talk about male enhancement products, what would be your audience if you would think of it yourself?
So what would your audience be? Males that, you know, people in relationships, maybe obviously ones that have insecurities about, you know, their penis size. Yeah, I guess that would be it. I'm thinking just people, males, relationships, insecure, and then just want to increase their penis size. Performance, yeah. Virility.
Yeah, it depends on what kind of pill it is. Some is just like other benefits. In terms of the audience, I'm missing one very important indicator. So male, relationship, insecure about the size. So we could sell this to a 14-year-old?
Oh, yeah, obviously also adults. It would be nice. But I mean, 14-year-olds probably are looking for dick pills, I'm sure.
Yeah, but they probably can get it. So the thing with the teenagers nowadays is they can get anything they want everywhere. So anything, Kamagra, Viagra, they just get from their buddies on the streets, right? So they don't go online looking for where to buy Viagra. They know a guy who knows a guy. That's... I'm not talking from my own experience, but I've heard that from the streets.
For sure, yeah.
So adults, and then I would clarify, let's say 35 plus. I would even maybe say 40 plus, right? Out of these sum up that you made, right, 4 variables, which ones are relative to native?
To native?
Relevant, I mean.
So in terms of targeting, you mean?
Probably.
Yeah, so I think you can target through, just from my understanding, you can only do like placements, right, in sites. So I guess you can do sites. So adult will be easy. The insecure of what performance will be hard to tell, because you can't really tell that. And you can do the relationship possibly just with dating sites or whatnot. And then maybe gender. I'm not sure if you can target through gender on native.
Okay. Yeah, overall, I would say adults is not that much of a problem, right? Because the consumption of content on native is primarily adults. This is would be a problem in terms of the campaign. This is more of a creative teaser action, right? The insecurity about the performance has to be translated through the ads. Same thing with the relationship and same thing with the mail. So all these 3 is the first out of the 3 steps of your flow, right? It's all related to the ads, which is great because that is where you pull them. So this is what we can work with. And the adults, this is like a given, but it's perfect. Okay. Now, when it comes down to these 3 aspects, religion, politics, and culture.
Yeah, you're not going to promote dick pills in Saudi Arabia or most Muslim countries because the ones that are really strict. I mean, I think you have to get through some certain qualifications or something that you need to do before you can. I think there's like restricted geos that you can't promote sexual products.
Is that something that's a fact, or you assume that that's the case?
I was looking at it actually, just in terms of restrictions of what you can promote. On volume DSP, it shows you like the low to high or restricted ones. And apparently,
Right. So
sorry,
for the dick pills, it's more about the publisher placements. So the publishers don't want these products on their site. Then that's like geo-regulated. If it would be geo-regulated, which is possible, it would be under politics, right? So this is like by law restricted. Obviously, it could also be by religion restricted, right? However, fun fact, I read a funny analysis. Anybody not aware who this woman is, which is perfectly fine for our younger audience. She's from Lebanon, yes, and they made a whole case that if she comes to Lebanon, she gets like a death penalty, or Libya, whatever. Yet the audience that views her the most, according to the adult entertainment website, is that country, right? So because the government says it's not allowed doesn't mean people don't do it. The same way that if the government says or your religion says don't do that, how many Muslims do I know that still smoke and drink alcoholic beverages? A lot, yet they are Muslims in their own way, right? So that's a very big, I would say, marketing opportunity, not necessarily roadblock, to promote these type of products in these countries. Yet, there's no way around this. If it's restricted by law, then you have no opportunity there. Whether we would look at, for this example, I'm coming back to the Muslim countries because I know a little bit about this. If you go deep into Saudi, there will be a lot of problems. If you go to Turkey, there will be less problems because these Muslims, according to the Quran, are less strict in terms of how they follow. Obviously, there are still hardcore Muslims there, but different, right? The majority is more lenient. Is that correct? From any Muslims here? Yeah, I see some nods. Okay, perfect. I see one nod, actually. Some small, very tiny approving nod. Okay, good. And when it comes down to the culture, it's also interesting, right? What would you think? Well, Elvin, let's give you another opportunity. When it comes to culture, relevant to these products. In some cultures, these products don't sell. Why?
Stigma would be my first guess. You might think that it affects, like, well, how can I don't need a dick pill. I'm a man, like I can just go exercise and do push-ups. I don't know, whatever it is they might be thinking.
Yeah, perfect. 100%. So the thing is, they are men, and men do not need additional help from other things because we're men, right? So any country where there's a primary alpha vision, men don't cry, anything like this, but to the furthest extent. So I'm not talking about the US, I'm more talking about the deep Eastern European countries, right? It's unlikely that they would buy these pills unless they're younger, right? But definitely not the elder generation because they don't require this. They can do it on their own. Well, apparently they can't, but then they will stick with that problem. Okay, perfect. Now, these things are obviously very important, right? What we generally tend to do is we look at the product, and what we do, our brain goes like this. Product, how can I make the most money with this, right? I need images, I need headlines, I need a lender as soon as possible, and I'll just put this shit together, which will take me 45 minutes, and I'll throw the campaign online and see what I get. Yet the question is, how can another affiliate with relative the same skill as you outperform you 10-1? Well, because they have thought about things like this, right? This makes the campaign so much better if you would do a tiny little bit of research on what you're doing. The question is, any big affiliate with 1 to 10 million a month revenue always sticks within the same niche, right? They don't change verticals. Why? Because they know everything about that vertical, right? They don't want to start again by reading all these audiences because they literally know every single country in the world, how they react to, for example, Nutra products. And the Nutra niche, again, has a lot of sub-verticals. Of course, there are solo affiliates which brands themselves across 3 verticals, but I'm talking about on scale, right? Which is very important because the thing is, at moments, you will, let me just pause this for a second so I can give a proper speech. At moments throughout time, right, you will more often see that if you do not have the skill, you fall behind. Look at the Facebook marketer flow. A lot of you guys here today are former Facebook advertisers who couldn't keep up with the restrictions. Why? Because you have no skill, right? If I would ask you, how does the system work in terms of CPM bidding on Facebook? Well, I don't know, because the system does it for me, right? There are guys spending 200 grand a month, but they don't know how the bidding works. So what happens if Facebook, the engine slows down? Well, their business slows down. They're very much dependent on what the moving parts are, but they don't understand how it actually works. Now with native, you have the full control over the business.